All right, everybody. So, welcome. I am so excited, super pumped you are here for our very first EBS EntreMD Business School open house. This is so exciting because it's been 2.5 years, and I'm like, yes, we get to share stories with everybody. So this is gonna be really good. So you're here. Say hi. I have Dr. Bates, Dr. Malone. Dr. Beckford, Dr. Amanda, hi. Makita is here. Dr. Heather is here. Dr. Heather, I'm so glad you could make it. You're driving, so no typing for you, okay? Till you get wherever you're going. But I just want us to just relax. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk about some things here, and I'm gonna answer your questions. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna go ahead. There's a lot of numbers and a little bit of data and stuff like that. So unlike me, I'm gonna use slides today, but this is going to be great. I just need to actually find my slides. Hang on. Okay, here we are. Gonna be so good. Okay, so here we are. I'm just gonna set this up. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, everyone. So this is our very first EntreMD Business School open house. The EntreMD Business School has been around for 2.5 years. Had lots of results, lots of things that have happened. Want to share that with you. For some of you, I'll also be extending the opportunity if it's something you've been thinking about. It's the opportunity to join the business school, which I'm so grateful there are a number of doctors in the business school here, so they will tell you, okay? They will tell you what it's like. But let's get to it. So now the EntreMD Business School was established in July of 2020, actually June, the end of June of 2020. So like I said, it's been around for 2.5 years. So we have a proof of concept, we have longevity, if you will, and it really is the only school of its kind for physicians. And it is the only school of its kind because we're not really focused on getting you another certificate. We are not focused on getting you to learn a lot of stuff and know a lot of stuff. That is not the goal of the EntreMD Business School at all. The goal of the EntreMD Business School is to give you results, is to get you to start that business, grow past 6 figures, grow past 7 figures, grow past multiple 7 figures, have a big impact, own your voice, find your purpose. Like, we're about results, really big on results. And so we give you the coaching, we give you the accountability, we give you the community, and all of that is designed to get you results. That is really what we're after. As of this point, we have served over 200 physicians. I think as of yesterday, we're at 220 physicians, which is something that we're really grateful for and something that we're really humbled by. Um, Now, if we haven't met, my name is Dr. Una. I am the founder of the EntreMD Business School. I am a pediatrician by training. And I fell in love with entrepreneurship after I went to the School of Hard Knocks. I started a private practice and I knew nothing about business at the time. I was like a deer caught in headlights. I really wish I could have disappeared and run away. But I had so many commitments. I had leases, contracts with insurance companies and things like that, so I couldn't run away. And then I heard a statement from Brian Tracy, from his book Eat That Frog, and it totally changed my life, where he talked about every business skill being learnable. Like, every business skill is learnable. And I started learning and my business really started working. And at this point, I am a serial entrepreneur, have a number of businesses, have a number of 7-figure businesses. And at this point, I've helped hundreds of doctors build their own businesses. So that really is who I am. But, at my core, I love physicians. And I really am like, that yes, the healthcare space looks the way it is and doctors are being treated the way they are, but the truth of the matter is that this is the best time for physicians. We are literally just a set of skills away from careers and businesses and lives that we love, and those are business skills, right? And so I'm all out to just help doctors acquire those skills so that they can build these businesses, whether you work a job and you're what we call an entrepreneur in the EntreMD space, or whether you're in private practice, or whether you're a coach, or you have some other service-based business, whatever it is, really you figure out how to make that profitable so you have the freedom to live life and to practice medicine on your terms. So that's me. And really, I want us to take a look at, what has happened in 2022 in the EntreMD Business School. Like I alluded to before, we crossed the 200 student mark. So, we served over 200 doctors at this point. This year, we had two very successful in-person events. Again, they're EntreMD Business School students here, so they can attest to that. And so we had a business makeover mastermind in April. We had a vision retreat in October. And the NPS, which is like the net promoter score, for excellent events is 40 to 60%, right? Like it's 40 to 60%. Our net promoter score for those events were at 90%, right? And so really grateful for that. And really, I do want to give credit to the doctors in the school, because it's not just about, putting on an event, but the community is what makes the event so magical, right? So two very successful in-person events. We completed our first collaboration book. It's called Made for More. If you follow me on social media, you'd have seen, the cover page and all of that. And so our launch date for that is January 17th. We're very excited about that. So it is a book written by 47 of the doctors in the business school. So first of its kind, really good. We started our book of the month, so a book club, if you will, which was very, very impactful. Talk about it a little more, later on. We launched success groups, and what this is, we have the big groups. We meet on Wednesdays. We have our weekly live sessions, but we set up these groups that are smaller groups. And really, it is just for implementation of the concepts that we learn. Again, you know that I talk about a disease that entrepreneurs have, especially physician entrepreneurs, called learnitis, right? And that is the love for learning with no intention of doing anything with it, right? So that's learnitis. And we actively fight against learnitis in the EntreMD Business School, because we know you don't make any progress from learning. You make progress from learning and doing. And so the success groups are smaller groups to drive implementation, and they're so fun. I mean, sometimes on the groups, while they're doing those things, you see someone say, "Oh my goodness, I just got another speaking gig," or "I got another client," and all of that. So it's really cool. But that was something that we launched in 2022. And then we also hired our first success mentor, and she's on here, the super amazing Dr. Tamara Beckford. And she has really been instrumental in the transitions and transformations and results that a lot of doctors in the business school have been getting. And she's a solid entrepreneur in her own right. So that was just fantastic. We also noticed that, in the EntreMD world, we say that the reward for solving problems is creating new problems. And so we noticed that by helping people build businesses and, really grow their businesses, we started creating other problems, like, problems with, finding and managing your team, problems with building, processes and systems that can handle the growth, problems with maximizing profits. And so we launched a new tier of the EntreMD Business School. We launched it in October, and it's EBS scale. So that's for people who really are on their way or right at the $1 million mark, and they've really run into those kind of problems. So we launched that scale, and it's been fantastic. And then we've also had a lot of massive, right? Like all of this is great, but massive client wins. Okay. Now, if you look at this is kind of, it's just, I just picked 8 doctors at random from the EntreMD Business School. They're all rock stars here. And, I put this up here because, our last call on Wednesday, I was like, okay, guys, talk to me. Like, what are some of the things that have happened to you in EBS in 2022? And I literally printed them out, because what they posted in the comments, they're just so wild. So I just want to give you an idea of what happened. What happens in the business school, right? And so, doctor is like, a huge mindset change. And I put that, I mentioned that first because almost everybody said that, but just that ability to see beyond, what is what is as a standard is available, to be able to dream again, to be able to think that, oh, I can lead this kind of team, or I can make this amount of money, or I can dominate a stage like this, like all of that. But almost everybody said mindset shift of some kind. But look at the kind of things they're talking about. I launched my private practice. I had incredible revenue growth. I had my first paid speaking gig. I for the first time I was consistent, and I'm seeing results from it. I had multiple speaking gigs, including paid. Someone else is like, I opened up my private practice and got pregnant with twins because of the freedom in private practice. Someone else said, launch my business, hire 10 people, onboarded 8 corporate clients. Someone else said, I had a successful 6-figure influencer business. So you can see it's all kinds of things. Someone else has launched my podcast, paid speaking gigs, now networking. Someone said the courage to leave my job and start my own journey the way I want. Someone else, I launched my private practice. Someone else said, I'm thinking a lot bigger. Now this person it has a 7-figure business, right? So when she says thinking a lot bigger, that's that's impressive. Someone else said, I had my first launch. I had 15 clients in my first launch. Someone else said, I increased my prices. I'm doing talks. I launched my podcast. Someone else said, I have confidence as an entrepreneur. Someone else said, mindset shifts. I launched my group coaching program. I have a podcast with 3,500 downloads. Someone else said, I have a huge mindset shift. I launched a course. I gave myself a huge time raise. Someone said, my win is I'm here in the group with everybody. Someone else said, lots more patients. Now this person actually is like, I need to start marketing my practice. I have too many patients. Another doc said, mindset change, new patients, hired 2 additional staff, new relationships, paid speaking gigs. Someone else said, taking steps I should have taken years ago. Someone else said, consistent growth in my business. Someone said, first paid national speaking gig, and I have a profitable business now. Someone else said, I'm practicing delegation. I'm feeling so much lighter. I'm more joyful because I get to work in my zone of genius as a result. Someone else said, launch 2 successful group programs, paid speaking gigs. Someone else said, I'm literally about to start my direct care rheumatology practice, thanks to EBS, and I already have patients to see, and a website, and Google reviews, and I haven't even started. Okay, someone else said, I launched my weekly live show. I hosted my first in-person event. And this will be the last one I read, says, number 1, I'm able to make my revenue goals. I didn't even think it was realistic when I set my mind to it. She said, I started my dream of teaching women physicians how to dance, and I've met the most amazing doctors. And she puts a heart emoji. Okay. And this is just from one call, like random question. I didn't read all of them, but I'd read about half of them. And these are the kinds of things that have happened. And these are the things that, we are proudest of EntreMD, right? EntreMD Business School, because none of the other things matter if the doctors are not creating big wins, consistent wins. We had many doctors who hit the 6-figure mark for the first time. We have a number of doctors who hit the 7-figure mark. We have a number of doctors who hit the multiple 7-figure mark in 2022. And, mark my words, I'm waiting for when I'll say, and we had a doctor who hit the 8-figure mark. I'm just waiting. Okay, but this is kind of what has happened in 2022. Really, when I think about it, I think, the EntreMD Business School, if you're thinking of starting or growing a business, is like really the most magical place to be in. And so I wanted to really share with you this is the version we're at, because we keep tweaking it, and we keep trying to make it better with one focus, not to add more bells and whistles to add bells and whistles, but really it's like, what is the way we can get people results the fastest? What is the way we can, support our people? So we take out any confusion, we take out anything that's getting in the way, we help them overcome obstacles faster so they can get those results. So I wanted to really share with you EBS 4.0, that's the iteration that we're on, and what to expect. So really, these are our targets for the doctors in the school. Okay, this is our goal. This is what we want to accomplish. And the first is we want to help them achieve revenue milestones, right? Whether that is, I want to launch and, start getting my first few clients. I want to cross 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever that number is, but help our docs hit their revenue milestones. We want to help them have established business entities. So we're not talking about, something that, they just do randomly to make some money here and there, but we're talking about entities that are built out, that have processes, that they're starting to build, like oiled machines, things that if they wanted to sell, they could. And not because they would sell, but really, any business. I heard this from Dr. Ronke Dosuma. I interviewed her on my podcast, and she said a business that's worth selling is a business that's worth keeping, right? So we're not building jobs, we're building businesses, we're building entities, we're building corporations, right? So we want to help them do that. We want to help them get branded as thought leaders in their spaces, right? Like when they think of that, when they think about their industry, they think about them, and there it's already happening for many doctors. Big shout out to Dr. Rachel Rubin. When you think about sex medicine, you really want to be thinking about her, because she's just a force in that space. So there are many doctors who are already doing that, but want to take that up a notch and make that something that you understand how to get there, and you start working the process. We want to help them attain business mastery, like for the level of business you're in, for you to understand the rules of the game at that level, right? And so you can have confidence as an entrepreneur. You can have confidence in the stage that you're in. You understand how to get to the next level and all of that. So we really want them to have that. So they're not like, I'm a doctor, but I'm also trying this entrepreneur thing. No, but they're confident in what they're doing. And then we also want, and the thing is, we don't want them to do this in a hustly, I'm going to lose my life, I have no work-life balance type of way. We also want them to do this and enjoy their lives, right? And so there has been a study going on since 2013, where it's like the happiness index for different countries, and number one on the list is Finland, and they are at 7.8. And the United States is number 16 and is at 6.98. And I was like, you know what? We're going to measure that in the business school. And this is really what we want to see. We want to see people overall, that our happiness index is greater than 7.5, right? And this just goes to show that we don't want people to build businesses and lose their lives. A business is a means to an end, right? It's a vehicle that you can use to serve people and make an impact in the world. It is a vehicle you can use to create time and financial freedom for yourself and for your family. It is a vehicle that allows you to live life on your own terms, right? And so we want people to get all of it. So those are our targets. And so what it will look like, the things that we're going to do to pull that off. We have our weekly live sessions. We've always had that since the beginning of the school. So we're gonna be doing that, and I'm gonna unpack that a little more. We're gonna do the 90-day sprint. I'll talk about that a little more. We're gonna continue with our success groups, because that was a huge hit and it created a lot of wins for people. And so those are smaller groups that are primarily for implementation, right? Like how do we get this results? We're gonna continue with our book of the month. We're going to be doing push week, and push week is really a week in the month where we all decide we have a challenge, something we're going to do. It can be like an ask-a-thon, right? You're going to make an offer a day, or you're going to build your referral base, or you're going to reach out and get booked on 10 podcasts as a guest or whatever. But it's a challenge, but we're going to do it for a week, a month, so that people can go all in on that week and then breathe a little bit afterwards. Our in-person events, I'll talk about that too, and extra support, right? And this is all based on feedback we've gotten. It's all based on, observations we've made with the doctors who have come through the school. But these 7 things you see is all for one thing. And that one thing is to help our people get results. That's it. Okay. So now with our weekly live sessions, this is what it usually looks like on Zoom, but there are a number of things that happen there. We have specialty masterminds, and the specialty mastermind is really splitting up people into smaller groups based on the type of business. Now, in the EntreMD Business School, one of our strengths is that we have so many types of businesses represented, right? And so you have people who are entrepreneurs, so they work jobs full time, but they're also building a brand. You'll meet many of those, and they're also leveraging their business skills to negotiate and all of those kind of things. So they're entrepreneurs, they're people who run private practices, they're coaches, they're people who do other service-based businesses. There have been people who've done products. There are people who are primarily speakers, like that's their business model. And so we just split everybody up based on type of business in these meetings, right? Because otherwise you're mixed up with all the other people, which is great, because innovation a lot of times is just taking something from one industry and putting in another industry, so people get to innovate a lot. So we have those will happen. We have mindset tune-ups, and these are really critical because one of the things we do in the EntreMD Business School is we make sure everybody's uncomfortable. Right? There are docs here, they'll tell you, we make sure everybody's uncomfortable because we know that the comfort zone is where dreams go to die. And then outside the comfort zone is where all the magic happens. So we do a lot of challenges, we push ourselves and all of that. So mindset tune-ups to make sure everybody's still good with that. RGF Mastery is really the revenue generation framework. The revenue generation framework, we have a whole framework, like how do you move people from they don't know about me to their paying clients. And there's a lot of audits we'll run on that because really that's the engine that creates revenue. And so just mastery of that. So we would do audits and all of those kind of things. There's laser coaching, there's how-to sessions, how to run a master class, how to dominate on stage, how to launch a practice, how to add a new vertical, how to be a great podcast guest, a lot of those kind of things, how to run a consult call or discovery call as some would call it. So a lot of how-to sessions. And in 2023, we're also going to be doing the Commonwealth Symposium. And really what that is there's something we call the Commonwealth of EBS, and that is the body of knowledge that we have together, right? So for instance, there's a doctor here who's had her practice for about a year and a half, has 500 five-star reviews that she got organically, right? And it's like, okay, so you're going to come on, you're going to run a panel thing. This is how you get, 5-star reviews. We have a doctor who did an open house. In her open house for a private practice, she had 400 people. 400, right? And she comes on, it's like, okay, this is how you do that. We have a doc here who's like, I made 6 figures on my influencer business. So I'm in a practice, I do private practice, but I have this brand, I have this social media thing, and I generated 6 figures in revenue. And so we're pulling all these people to come and run panels and things like that, so we can tap into, the corporate brain of EBS. And so our weekly live sessions will be one of these kind of meetings that are happening, but all high impact, all high value. Okay. Then we have the 90-day sprint. Now, with the 90-day sprint, I put this picture of a smiley face because, sometimes people are like, oh my goodness, that sounds like a lot of work, but it's not. But in 2023, we are going to be living a quarter at a time. We're going to be living 90 days at a time. And then what that's going to do is going to help put us in a position where we make the most strategic decisions. We recognize fluff for what it is. We recognize shiny objects syndrome for what it is. We live on purpose. We live very intentionally. Like, okay, in the first quarter, this is like, and it's like A, B, C, D, E, like we have 4 years in one, right? In the first year, the first, fourth of the year, this is what I'm going to accomplish. The second, the third, the fourth. And this is so critical because, this is the time of the year when people are looking at their goals and stuff like that. And sometimes they haven't looked at them since January, right? And so they haven't really done anything with it. But this kind of puts you in a position where you're on point all the time, or you're on point most of the time. But it's not going to be, again, smiley face, right? So it's not going to be like, oh my goodness, I'm going to fall out, but it's going to put you in a position where it can be really strategic. So for instance, on tomorrow, our live session, we're doing a 90-day sprint workshop, and we're going to be setting the intention for Q1 of 2023, what we're going to accomplish, all of those kind of things. So we will be doing the 90-day sprint workshop tomorrow to set us up for 2023A, right? And so we're going to be doing that, before every quarter of the year, so we can live, as intentionally as possible. Books of the month. These are 5 of the 6 books that we read in the last 6 months. And, again, the Doctors in Business School, you guys can probably post in the chat and let people know, but these have really made a huge, significant difference. Some of them are mindset, some of them are tactical, some of them are, but they've been really good books, and reading them together has made it possible for us not to just pull what we get from it, but pull what other people get from it as well. And it has just kept us on the straight and narrow. Like really, it has. And so it's been big. It's been a huge hit, and we're going to continue with that. Just really high value books that we'll be doing the entire year. Um, we are going to be having our in-person events. We're going to have two of them. And so the EBS Business Makeover Mastermind is like a nuts and bolts, run audits on your business, make decisions, worksheets, spreadsheets, all of that. That's kind of what's going to be happening. Make our businesses so much better is going to be happening April 28th and 29th, and in Atlanta, and that's going to be amazing. EntreMD Live, I'm still undecided. It might be in person, but we'll see. Maybe later I'll let you guys vote. But the EntreMD Business School Vision Retreat is going to be in October. And that is where we really set the intention for the following year. We let go of the things that happened in the year, just set the stage for us to do Q4 really well, and then start the year very strong. So those are two in-person events that we're going to be having. Um, and this year we had a lot of requests for different things, and we kind of put up what we're going to do for extra support. So I have a secret agenda. I think I've only talked about it once, where I'm like, man, I really want for 80% of the people in the school to be six figures and above, right? Six, seven, eight, whichever their number, but 80%. And so we're introducing the 100K boot camp, and that's part of EBS. That's not a separate thing, but it will be run by Makita. And Makita has almost been like my COO for my private practice and for EntreMD. Has done, I don't know, at this point, probably done over 100 sales calls, and has generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue. And she will be hosting the 100K boot camp to help people, cross that hump, right? Cross that hump into the six figures for people who are starting. EBS scale, we've talked about it. And so the people who are on their way to their first $1 million year, or are at that point, they have a different set of problems. So we have a tier of EBS that's available to them. Some people want to do VIP days, group VIP days, VIP experience. Again, those are things that we will be offering. Those are more a la carte type of things that we'll be offering in 2023. And we recently acquired a marketing company, and they do a lot of the heavy lifting for weekly emails, social media, um, um, your YouTube channel, podcast, and things like that. And so that is a team that the EntreMD Business School will have access to, as far as being able to use their services and priority and things like that. Um, so let's talk about who the school is for. Now, again, we've served over 200 doctors, and we have been around for over 2.5 years at this point. And I've stopped to think, like, who are the people who get the biggest results from the EntreMD Business School and things like that. And this is really what I've come up with. It's the people who are 1,000% committed to their results, right? It's people who come in and say, I'm going to be the best student. I'm going to get, I even had a doc who was like, I am going to get my return on investment before I even start the school, right? Like there was a 1 month, interval between when they signed up and when they started. Like, I'm going to get my return on investment before then. And those kind of people, I can tell, right? Like they're just gung ho, and they get stuff done. And when I say 1,000% committed, you don't even have to know the steps. You just need to be committed to do what it takes. You don't even have to have it all together. You don't have to. You just have to have made a decision that I'm I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. That's what's going to make you show up and get the help you need. That's what's going to make you show up for the live sessions and learn what you need to learn. That's what's going to make you dare your fears and get what you want done. Because I can tell you, the EntreMD Business School, the EntreMD team is 1,000% committed. 1,000% committed to helping you get your results, right? And so when you have a school that's committed and a doctor who's committed, it's like a match made in heaven, right? Like, so if you're wondering, I wonder if this is for me. If you're like, I'm gonna get this done. Like, I don't know the steps, I don't know the next steps, I'm not very sure on everything I need to do, but I'm gonna get this done. If that's you, then this has your name written all over it, okay? Okay, so now the EntreMD Business School, the investment for 2022 has been $2,000 a month or $20,000 a year. That's the investment that it's been, and it has been by invitation, not invitation, by application only this year. And so if this is something that you're like, man, I've been thinking about this, and this sounds like something that would be a great fit for me. I've seen my friends in it, I see what they're doing. Then I would say one of the best things you can do for yourself as you prepare for next year is go apply. And Makita is on here. She will tell you if we think this is not a good fit, in the sense that we're like, yeah, what you're trying to do with your business is not something that we do, we will tell you. We have told people, yeah, not this. This is probably not what you're looking for, right? So nobody has any interest whatsoever in manipulating you or convincing you to get something that is not a good fit for you. If you're like, yeah, I want to start, I want to grow, I want to scale my business, right? I want to do the work, then this is what you've been looking for, right? So you can turn in applications on entremd.com/business. Okay. Now, if you're thinking about it, and this again, this is not manipulation, this is none of that, but this is just the fact. This is what is going to happen. So our 2023 tuition is going to be $25,000 a year or $2,400 a month. And so if this is something that you're like, I've been thinking about it, I want to do it in January. Maybe you don't want to do it in January, maybe you want to do it in December. I'm just giving you the inside scoop. Okay, that's all that it is. But that was 2022. This is 2023. Okay. But regardless, okay, I always make fun of it and I say, listen, if you wanted to go to Emory and you wanted to do an MBA, it will cost you 140 grand. Okay. And so even at $25,000, it is still a ridiculous deal, right? Because you're only paying 17.8% of what you would pay if you were going to Emory to do, going to Emory to do an MBA. Okay. All right. So there are questions that come up. I want to make sure that I get that out of the way for you. Okay. How long will I be in the EntreMD Business School? It's kind of like, it depends. Okay. So the commitment is a year-long commitment, but we have people who joined in June of 2020 who are still here till today. Okay, like Dr. Beckford is one of them, still here until today. So you can stay as long as you like. We even have a hashtag in the EntreMD Business School that is hashtag EBS for life. I did not make that up, they did. but it's for a year, and then after that you have the option to renew. The time commitment, it really depends on if you are, working your business full time, or if you're working and you're doing a job. But as far as, your weekly sessions, you're going to have one weekly session with the whole group. That's the session with me, which is an hour and a half. And then you're going to have another session that's your success group. That's about an hour, right? And then you have some time for implementation and stuff. But the truth of the matter is, in the EntreMD Business School, we've taken out the fluff. And so really, we've reduced it to what you need to get the result that you're looking for. Okay. Is there any one-on-one coaching? There is not one-on-one coaching in the EntreMD Business School. It is like a business school. It is, your big class, your small group, and that's kind of the way that it's set up. Having said that, we do have laser coaching sessions where you can be coached one-on-one, but it is in a group. Okay, so you still get that. And we have a private Facebook group that's there 24/7 for you to ask questions. And again, you tap into the corporate think tank, because then you have all kinds of people with all kinds of experiences and all kinds of connections in one space. Okay. Does it help with my kind of business? So if you are, if you're a physician working a job and you want to build out your brand, you want to build your brand and monetize that, I saw an entrepreneur that will work for you, private practice, you're a coach, you have other service-based business, you have a product-based business, this will. If you're an investor and you want to invest, it's not an investing thing, right? It's more of a business thing. So yes, and if you're in doubt, just fill out an application. If your business is like, different, unique, stuff like that, fill out an application and we could always look at that for you. I get asked this sometimes, can I try it for a few months? And the answer is no. And it's not because you can't try it for a few months, but it's more so business is like medicine. It doesn't work with trying, right? It works with I'm gonna do this, right? And so it's kind of like, can I try medical school for a few and see if I like it? Like, no, you know what I mean? And so really entrepreneurship it is for the committed. And so for people who've asked me this before, I'm like, you know what? Why don't you wait? Why don't you wait till you're sure this is what you want to do and then you come do it? We'll be here, right? But don't try. It doesn't work, not with entrepreneurship. So those are some of the commonest questions that come up. Want to make sure I answer those. Okay, so again, like if I show up in the EntreMD Business School, I mean, what's going to happen there? What is Dr. Una's intent? What is the school's intent? This is our intent. Okay, we want to help you achieve revenue milestones. Everything we're doing is driving you towards that. We want to help you build an established business entity, something that is an institution, something that's a corporation, something that has systems it can run by itself, something that you can sell if you want to, right? We don't want you to own a job. We don't want you to go from burnout in one job to burnout in your business. Okay. We want you to be branded as thought leaders. When they think about your industry, your name should be coming up, right? When they think about your practice in your area, when they think about the doctors who do that, your name should be coming up. We want to help you attain business mastery. There's a lot of this narrative of, doctors are one-trick ponies, or doctors make poor business decisions, or bad deals, or doctor deals, and things like that. But no, we want you to be confident as a physician entrepreneur. We want you to understand business. We want you to understand the laws that apply to your level of business and things like that. And we want you to have a happiness index greater than 7.5. Okay. We want you to enjoy the journey. Okay. All right. So this is what I would love for us to do. I would love for us to make 2023 a masterpiece. And in the EntreMD Business School, my commitment, the commitment of the team, is to help the doctors who have already committed to this to have a masterpiece, right? Have a 2023 that is a masterpiece. All right. So if you're here and you're like, wow, this is amazing. I know there are people from the business school that are here. So shout out to you. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making 2023 a masterpiece. And if you've been thinking about joining us, we would love to have you. Okay. We would love to have you. If you have questions, we're happy to answer them. Actually, I'm going to come to the comments and answer questions in a little bit. But this is what you can look forward to. And I'm telling you, you will have some of the most phenomenal classmates you can imagine. You have access to the leadership and the coaching that you will need to navigate 2023, because 2023 is going to be a year of challenges, right? But we've already made a decision in EntreMD Business School that we're going to thrive. We are going to weather them. We're going to pivot if we need to. When people are retreating, we're going to be launching forward, and we're going to have a great year, even though it's going to be filled with challenges. That's the decision that we made. And, if you're what we call a 1%er and you're like, yeah, I'm going to build that, I'm going to do that, when everybody's running away in fear, I'm going to come forward and do what I want to do, then this is a place to you. So you can turn in your application again. We would love to have you. So I am going to stop my share real quick. And if you have questions, I am happy to answer them. Hi, Dr. Toomer. Hello. Oh, look, what do you have on your... You're in a party mode. I love it. Okay. All right. Hi, Dr. Ngozi. Dr. Ngozi's in the business school. Always fun. Hi, Dr. Vanika. All right. So if you have questions, you can go ahead, post them in the chat. And Dr. Beckford said, don't forget the 0.5. Dr. Atkins, like the Made for More book. I'm so excited about that. That is January 17th. We'll be publishing that book. It's so good. Thank you, Dr. Alicia. Thank you. Um, Dr. Amanda said, I love the success groups. It's definitely helped me stay in action. Um, love it, love it, love it. All right, let's see. Magic. Okay. So Dr. Anna says, what if you don't have a specific focus yet? What if you're working for a company, example, pharma? Do you have experience with people who work in such contexts who are still able to, in parallel, develop their brand? Dr. Anna, the answer to that is yes. There are many people who come into the business school unsure. In fact, on our last call, our last two calls, the doctor is like, even if you think you don't know what you're doing, just do what they tell you to do. It's working. You know what I mean? And she's like, I came in, I didn't know, I didn't know what I'm doing, but here I am. I even hit a revenue goal that I set, like $4,000 short of a revenue goal that I set. And with all the time I took off, and, I have a baby and all of that stuff. So the answer to that is yes. Now, so my philosophy is that every doctor has a business, and your business is your brand. Like, everybody has that business in common, right? And when in doubt, you can always start building that, because that is something you can monetize. So for instance, I told you of the doctor who said, I have a 6-figure influencer business, but he works full time. He works full time, but he built out his brand. He built out what he does on social media and all that, and he was able to generate 6 figures from it. Now, doing it on social media is not the only way to do it, but you build a brand and it sets the stage for everything that comes next. So there are a number of people who are entrepreneurs in the business school. Dr. Whaley Gray, I can say that because I've interviewed her on my podcast. So she said her story publicly, but she's a sleep medicine doctor out of Vermont. She also does, she started doing life planning. She runs a podcast. Just yesterday, she did a life planning session with Dr. Elaine in her group, which was really powerful. And so that's so long, but the answer is yes. Dr. Anna, the answer is yes. Okay. But yes. Let's see. Yeah, Dr. Toomer says amazing growth just from the books, even more from the group, and even more from the coaching. And Dr. Toomer, I love you because you're there for all of it. And she's a rock star, like thriving business, like going like, I can't take any more clients, right? But she still does all the things. Dr. Anna, you can fill out an application. Makita will take care of you. She's the boss of me, and she will take care of you. She got you. Let's see. Dr. Heather says, I've been in the school for 5 months and I can see in the horizon the ROI. Yes. And I saw your post in the EntreMD group. I saw that. That was so good. What if I don't have my business idea yet? Okay. So, fun fact, when we started the EntreMD Business School, Dr. Beckford, you may remember this. We're like, we have 4 stages. Stage 1, develop your message. And then everybody comes like, well, what if we don't have a business yet? So we added another stage 0. Okay, start from there. And that's all about helping you identify what your business idea is, the business idea you're going to run with. Because remember, we're doing 100K boot camps and stuff like that, and we're all about focus. Okay, so one of the first things we'll do is help you define, okay, this is the business that I'm working with. Okay, that's something that happens during orientation. To start with, like, what is the business idea you're working with? This is the business. Great. So all these things you're going to be learning, you're going to be applying it here, because we don't want you to learn stuff. We want you to learn and do, right? And so that's part of it. But regardless, please hear me when I say this. Even if you're like, I don't have, I don't know if, I don't know if I want to be a speaker, I want to host events, I want to be a coach, I want to have private practice. You don't know any of that. There's one thing you have a brand. It's called Dr. You Incorporated. That is a business. And when in doubt, you can start working on that business, because with there are 7-figure brands. Do you understand what I mean? There are many people in the business school who they're not leaving their jobs, because I'm not an advocate of leave your job. I'm an advocate of do what you want. You know what I mean? And so if the job is what you want to do that. But you do it in a way that you're in control, right? Because you built your brand, because you understand how to communicate like an entrepreneur. You understand how to negotiate. You understand there are people in the business school, not 1 or 2, that are like, they got in, they learn to negotiate. They negotiated for a pay raise. They negotiated for a 4-day work week, and they negotiated for a scribe. They're all there at the school. And so they're working their jobs, but they just own their business. They own their space and they're making it work for them, right? Some other people, it's like, I want to work my job and I want to do a podcast and I want to speak and all of that stuff. That's fine. So you don't have to change, like dramatically change whether you're working or not, or the business you're in or not. But those business skills, wherever you are, you can start applying them right away. Okay. So the answer is yes. Um, how many people usually sign up every year? I would have to check that. I don't know. It's a number. But I couldn't compare year to year. But there's about 140 in the school now. Yeah. And that's the reason why. So the thing is this, right? Like the school is big and small, which is the way I want it to be, right? Big meaning that we have access to a lot of people who know a lot of people. Like there are doctors in there who can connect you to the most amazing speaking gigs. There are doctors in there who have like they text billionaires that they connected with. There are doctors in there. So this statement of your network is your net worth. In EBS, like the relationships you have are worth your tuition. And the people in the school, they're here. Like if I was gonna come here and lie, I wouldn't tell them come to the open house. I'll say stay away. I need to fib. Okay. But they will tell you the relationships you have there, right? Liquid gold. Because you can come in there and ask a question about something, and there are 5 people who can connect you in the most bizarre way. Like it's so amazing. Okay. But at the same time, that's why we have the success group. So you have your smaller groups, right? So you're not, lost in a crowd and stuff like that. Let's see. Ta-da-da. Yeah, Dr. Tuma is she's just a whole boss. Whole boss. Let's see. I want to see any other questions. My pleasure, my pleasure. Makita is acknowledging she's the boss. Like, I'm the boss. Look at that. Dr. Toomer says the best thing I gained from EBS is the confidence to follow my ideas, then revenue from those ideas. So beautiful. I love it. Network is unbelievable. Let's see. Why join EntreMD rather than join your marketing avenue? Okay, so there's a branding course that we're doing, right? And that is an 8-week thing, right? So it's 8 weeks and it's kind of done. They don't hurt each other because your branding is something that we're going to work on anyway. So for you, I would say fill out an application, and then Mikita can help you with that decision. So you can fill out an application. Do you have any docs in the creative/art fields? We had Dr. Joanna Cranston, who did hand lettering art. Actually, see that here? She did that. That's her. It's sitting in my office. You see that is my cursor showing? Probably not. So right there. See that? The one I'm pointing at. Little blue painting. Yeah, she did that. She sent it to me. Shout out to her. And who else is in the arts? I don't know, but she is for sure. Her Hopes for Design, Designs for Hopes. That's what her business is called. But yes, but this is the deal though. Regardless of the business type or the dancer doc, yes, 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 yes. Regardless of the business type, you are going to need to build a business system around it. You are going to need to learn how to market it, right? And that is the big focus of the school. The big focus of the school is how do I get my name out there? How do I put myself out there? How do I build team? How do I do all of those things, right? Yeah, so that's what that is. Um, what is the current investment for EBS? So EBS 2020 is $2,000 a month or 20K if you're doing the pay in full. And then next year, 2023, it would be 2,400 or 25K pay in full. So that's the investment for that. That's the investment for that. Okay. Do I have any other questions? Or did we get our questions answered? Personal styling. I would need that. Makita takes care of me. I love it. Okay. All right. So, oh, what did I say? Yeah, 2022 is 2K a month or $20,000 for the year if you do the pay in full. So that's a $4,000 savings. And then for 2023 it will be 2,400 a month. Oh, I said 2020. Sorry. Yeah, so for the question, why your program versus the marketing program, fill out an application. Then Makita will help you choose which one. So entremd.com/business. And then Makita will help you with that. She'll help you that for sure. Yeah. Okay. So before I let you guys go, because I have Dr. Beckford and Dr. Tuma looking right at me, I'm gonna have you guys do, I don't know, 60 seconds of allow. They're looking at me like, no, she didn't. Yes, I did. Um, I'll let you guys do 60 seconds of last minute words, and then we'll let everybody go. So Dr. Beckford, you want to go first?
Yes, absolutely. So welcome in advance to the EntreMD Business School. So some of you guys might know me. I'm Dr. Tamara Beckford. I am a part of the business school. I also am, I do live and I've interviewed some of you guys. If not, I know I will be interviewing you soon. All right. So why be part of the business school? I started in 2020. I am one of the EBS lifers. And there's been so much growth that has occurred. Some of you guys here, I know that you're thinking like, I don't really want to put myself out there. What do I have to offer? I saw Dr. Bolonini. She's one of my alum from my medical school, where we really didn't get a lot of business education in med school, right? A lot of us came out and we learned how to just work, but then we found out that there's more. So this North Star that you have within you to do more, to be more, one of the beauty about being in the business school is that we're able to help you to develop that. And like Dr. Tuma says, you get to earn, right? So you get to build a life that you love, because when you're in the business school, you're not just building like your business itself, we are working on ways on how to incorporate this in your life. So now you haven't like built a successful business, but all your kids hate you, your family can't stand you, you don't want to go on, you can't wait for the holidays because you don't want to be around them. It's like the opposite. We actually are building businesses where you're incorporating your life, and we're doing a lot of personal development. And the biggest thing is that you're earning at the same time. So it's really a space, a lot of us call it a magical space. For those who are on the outside, they're just like, what's up with these cults? Like, why are they so happy? But we truly are happy because we're working together, and we're working, Dr. Toomer, she'll come on and she can really attest to this, that any question or connection that you might need in life, I'm pretty sure you're one step away from that within the business school, because we have people there from all over, not just the US, but also the world. We had, and we have alum from all over. We have in England, we have alum in Japan, New Zealand, like all over. And these people have all worked together and have all had such a great experience that they're willing to help you to navigate your next step. So being part of the business school, it's not just like, okay, is this investment, is it worth it? I see a lot of people are asking, well, you did 8 weeks in the branding course. I know you're thinking like, should I spend this whole year? Trust me, once you have, and like we said, if you really want to make that change, you really talk to yourself and you sit and try to envision, what do you want out of your 2023? How are you entering into 2023, and how do you plan on leaving 2023? And that'll help you make that decision. Envision, what is it that you want from your life? I know that I wanted something better. I wanted a life where I had time with my kids. I'm able to give, I'm able to earn at the same time. And I've built all that. I've developed skills. I didn't realize I was a speaker, Dr. Bolonini. I'm speaking, public speaking, international speaker, getting paid, hosting events. In 2020, when I started the business school, I started out saying that I wanted to be a telemedicine doc and started a telemedicine business. So you see how there's so many development that occurs because you've learned about yourselves and you learn it in a space that's safe, and it's a space where others are encouraging you, and you get to build and be the best version of yourself at the end. So I encourage you guys to join. This is the space where my whole family is just like, wow, they've seen the transformation. And I'm pretty sure my happiness index is way more than 75. So I don't know about you guys, but it really does work. And look, Dr. Tuber is laughing. I'll let her go next and really let you guys, see that this is just a powerful space with powerful people who are helping you to be the best version of yourself. So I look forward to seeing you guys. And when you join, I look forward to helping you achieve your goals in small groups also. Thanks.
All right, happiness index of 10. That's what Dr. Beckford has. All right, Dr. Toomer, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. I was just looking at the question. It says, what if you are a serial entrepreneur, not at the beginning of your career? I'm actually 57 years old. I am weird. You'd think I'm getting ready for retirement. And I started with one business, have started a few more since, not expecting to start them, but just because of the confidence I gained from EVS, there's other things that I've always wanted to do. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do them. The reason I was really excited about EVS is because I'm very big on the degrees of separation. How many degrees of separation is my success from somebody else's or someone else's success from me? And I feel that I have met people that I never expected to meet. I have gained knowledge I never expected to have. I've done things that have helped me grow in ways I didn't even know I needed to. So I just, one of the reasons why I'm in EVS and I'm staying in EVS is because I can never anticipate what I'm going to get, because it's always something that I did not foresee. And I'm now speaking, never expected to be a paid speaker. I am now a paid speaker. I've done a TEDx talk, which I didn't know I had the confidence to do until I was here. I've started a group program, which I'd never intended on doing. I actually started with a brick and mortar office, closed from COVID, went online, pivoted to online rather quickly because of the guidance I got from Dr. Una. And now I have then did one-on-one coaching, then did group coaching. Now I'm actually going to be doing group teaching other physicians to do what I'm doing. And I'm going back to starting an organization, none of which I expected. These are just steps that came at me from the steps I took, from what I've learned and from I've been exposed to. And you think at a certain point you stop having firsts, but I can tell you at 57, I'm still having firsts and I'm still enjoying it and I'm having a good time. And I have my time. I have full control over my time. And doctor can tell you, I see clients 15 hours a week in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I leave Monday for meetings, Fridays for my growth meetings and development meetings. I keep my weekends free for my family. My daughters just came in today for the holidays, and my last appointments will be Thursday until January. So that's what I work for. And that's what I don't work for, because now I have all this extra time. And that's what EVS has given me, that freedom that I wouldn't have had otherwise. I didn't even know it was possible. And now I have it.
Dr. Tuma, your story gets me every single time. The woman works 14 hours a week, right? And her business is not a joke. It's like, oh, yeah, what was your first number? We grew by 461%.
Oh, yeah. I think, I grew by 600% within the first 3 months. I've grown over 1,000% since starting. I've way surpassed my income from when I was working as an employed physician. And next year proves to be even bigger, because I actually have more streams of income next year that I didn't even have this year. So that's just going to free up more of my time because that's really what I measure my revenue by: time, money, and energy.
In
And
that
the more
order.
energy, in that order. Yeah. And so if I don't have energy and if I don't have time, that doesn't matter how much revenue I make. So I always, it's all three for me.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that. Like, I just love your story. And this is the thing about EBS, right? It's not about a prescribed thing. It really is about what do you want, right? We've had the cookie cutter thing for so long. Like, go to high school, and when you're there, go to take your MCAT. When you do your bachelor. When you're done, get into med school, then do this and just follow the yellow brick road, right? And then now we're at this phase where, like, what do you want? And for Dr. Toomer, it was always time. Like, Dr. Toomer was the first person who taught me about the fear of success. Because she's like, because if I succeed, then I don't have my time. Like, I want my time. And so here she is building a business that's wildly successful on her own terms, living life the way she wanted to do them, right? And so that's really amazing, really, really amazing. Dr. Toomer, did you leave your job to do this, or do you do it in parallel? Dr. Toomer you'd already started your business by the time we started working together.
I did, but what I did initially is I worked part-time in urgent care. I didn't want to take out too many business loans, and I didn't want to go into debt because I wanted to be able to have a low overhead so that I could have more time. So I did work part-time at an urgent care center. I left my employed position. However, I could have done both because I still worked part-time even when I was employed because I valued my time. So I never really worked full-time for quite some time. So yeah, but then very quickly, I planned beforehand that my overhead was going to be very, very low. If I had started off online, I would not have worked anything. It was just because I had, more rent and other, bills to pay. But yeah, there's a way to do it so that it does not cause a lot of stress
Hmm.
financially, emotionally, or with time management.
Love it. Okay, so Dr. Beckford and Dr. Toomer, thank you so much for sharing your stories. Guys, listen, if you're thinking about it, but you're like, I'm not sure, I have questions and stuff like that, just fill out the application. The goal of filling out the application, all of that, is for us to help you see if this is a good fit or not. Like I said, nobody wants to manipulate you. Nobody wants to strong arm you into doing anything. If we feel like this is a match made in heaven, we'll be like, okay, this is how we can support you on what your goals already are, right? And so just turn an application on entremd.com/business. And we'll be happy to help you work through that. Okay. Makita's with her son Nehemiah. I just have to read this because she sent me a text. She's like, Nehemiah was like, I wish I was in EBS. He's 6. Nehemiah's her son. He's 6. He's like, I wish I was in EBS. Okay, so the 6-year-old wants to be in the school, so you go figure it out. Okay, so if you're in doubt, just send out the application. Like I said, we're here to support you. That's part of our support. Be there or not there. Dr. Toomer said, feel free to contact her on Messenger and all of that stuff. Okay. All right, people, I am going to let you go. Dr. Toomer likes her time. I like my date night. Tuesday is date night. So I'm going to date. Okay. All right, people. Thank you so much for stopping by. Looking forward to welcoming you guys in. If you have questions, you can always PM me or PM Dr. Beckford or PM Dr. Toomer and fill in the application. Makita will walk you through it. Okay. All right. Good night, everybody.